If you're making that move to Metro Atlanta, you want to know what's in your budget. Where can you afford? Can you afford in the city, somewhere outside the city? Well, today we've got you covered as I'm talking about all the prices in and around in Metro Atlanta, and we're doing it right now. Let's do it. You know, it's easy to look at a website like Zillow or Trulia and find, like, if you're looking for a specific city, what the median sales price is. But sometimes you want a bigger picture of what's going on. So that's what we got for you today, is I'm gonna go through all the metro cities, starting with the most expensive to the least expensive to see what fits in your budget. In this one, we're talking about single family detached residence. So that's your typical home with your yards. In a separate video that'll drop in a few days, I'm also gonna put up townhomes and condos if that's what you're into. So again, this is single family detached homes. And I'm gonna use my wall behind me because my wall behind me has the entire Metro Atlanta area covered for you. If you're new to this channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, working, playing, and breathing all things Atlanta and the Metro Atlanta area, then hit that subscription button, tap that notification bell so you can be the first to know about everything that's going on here in Atlanta. My name is Jonathan McCoy. I'm getting calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to make that move here to Atlanta, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're making that move right now, a month from now, or a year from now, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to help you make that smooth transition here to Atlanta. Well, let's get started. Let's go to my back wall here, which is my background that has all of Atlanta in it and the cities around it. Again, we're gonna start with the highest value cities and we're gonna go down. So not only gonna share with you the median values, but for some of these cities, I'm also gonna give you some highlights quickly of these cities. We have a lot to get through. And so if you're looking at a specific number, you can look at the chapters I've divided this into to see what fits in your budget. Again, we're talking about the median price. So we're gonna start with the highest median sales price in all Atlanta, and that's up here in Milton, Georgia. North Fulton County, Milton, Georgia, we're talking about $1.265 million is the median sales price. And you're gonna see a theme here in this north area, especially in North Fulton area, you're gonna see some of the highest prices in all Atlanta. So 1.265 million, Milton's known for its horse farms. So if you're into equestrian things, I'm not personally myself, but if you're into that, you do have some horse farms here in North Atlanta. Next up, we drop down a little bit, and that's here in Sandy Springs. So Sandy Springs, just north of Atlanta, 285, which is the perimeter, the freeway that runs around Atlanta, as long as 400 comes down here. So Sandy Springs, great location. And we're talking about the median sales price of $930,000 for single family detached homes here in Sandy Springs. Still sticking to Fulton County north, we go to Johns Creek. Johns Creek is the next area we're gonna hit here. Johns Creek, prices coming at $790,000 here in Johns Creek. Jumping over from there, we go to Alpharetta. So again, staying in this area. Alpharetta's median sales price is $769,000 if you're buying here in Alpharetta. And then of course, down here in Dunwoody. We now actually drop out of Fulton, and this is in North DeKalb. Though some of it does go into Fulton. North DeKalb and Dunwoody, we're talking about $706,000 for the median sales price here. One of the things, if you're living in Dunwoody, you'll know a lot of mature trees and neighborhoods around here, so it's really well established here in the Dunwoody area. Lots of homes here. There are some industry here in Dunwoody. For the most part, this is just a lot of neighborhoods here with some shopping and dining around. Next, we pop up here to Roswell. So back in North Fulton, we're looking at $664,000 as your median sales price. Really love this whole area here in North Fulton. Roswell's a really fun area, kind of a cool downtown area that's got a little more history to it, a little bit more laid back. It's kind of got like this small Savannah feel to it if you've ever been to Savannah. Really fun area here, lots of trails and nature walk around here. The Chattahoochee River flows through here, so if you want to get some kayaking, canoeing, fishing in, good place there. Alpharetta up here, which is nearby, a little bit more new, trendy area. So if you're hanging out in the Alpharetta area, this actually feels a little bit more like a downtown area, like downtown Atlanta. So we've got some good shopping and dining options here, a lot of it. So that's kind of the different feels for these two areas here. All right, now we're gonna jump over here to Suwanee, Georgia. So Suwanee is in Gwinnett County, and in Suwanee, you're looking at a median sales price of $648,000 here in Suwanee, Georgia. Next on our list after Suwanee is Peachtree Corners, Georgia. That's actually where I'm making this video at. So Peachtree Corners, Georgia is right here, butts up against DeKalb County and North Fulton County. And in Peachtree Corners, Georgia, you're looking at a median sales price of $616,000 for homes. Now, one thing to point out about Peachtree Corners, Georgia, Peachtree Corners have done a ton of videos you can find it right here if you want to look at some of those. There's a list. But in Peachtree Corners, Georgia, it's one of the most family-friendly areas, one of the most like walkable areas, because you have a big grouping of homes in here, have sidewalks around it, and you just see people out and about a lot, enjoying the beautiful weather we have in Georgia. So Peachtree Corners, hot area to buy in. I know it just made a list of like top 10 cities in all the U.S. To raise families in. Next, we're going way up here to Forsyth County. It's the only really major city in Forsyth County, and that is Cumming. All right, and in Cumming, you're looking at a median sales price of $600,000. Let me tell you, this South Forsyth, and pretty much Central and North Forsyth too, but it is a huge area. It's one of the fastest growing counties in all of Atlanta. Ton of people moving there. You can also still find new construction homes there as well. Lots of development there in Cumming, Georgia. You'll also see it's right up to one of the major lakes here in Atlanta, and that's Lake Lanier. So the Lake Lanier is there. If you want to live more lake life or be close to it, Cumming might be a good place for you to look. All right, next we're coming back into North Dakota. That is Chamblee. Okay, so for the Chamblee area, we're looking at a median sales price of $583,000. And let me tell you, this has seen some major changes around here. So I grew up in Atlanta, I've lived here for 43 years. Chamblee, it did not have these higher end homes, but they're doing a ton of work here in the Chamblee area. Not on my map there's a city called Brookhaven. So Brookhaven's right here. It had a big boom 15, 20 years ago and just continued to really grow. Chamblee is kind of taking that on and is next. Let me tell you, Doraville is going to be next. So Chamblee, again, sales price median was $583,000 if you're buying in Chamblee. Also matching up with Chamblee is a place called Avondale Estates. This is a really unique area neighborhood, this little pocket here called Avondale Estates. Some really unique, well-maintained homes. It's kind of this interesting pocket. It's kind of hard to describe unless you've been there. So Avondale Estates also comes in at $583,000 here in DeKalb County. Interesting one here, mainly because it's pretty far south, Georgia, but definitely a developing area here. We're down here in Fayette County, so it's way down the bottom of the list. We're talking about Tyrone. And Tyrone's coming in at $565,000. Now, one thing to point out down here is you're getting probably more homes with more land. You also have fewer homes to look at, so these numbers can jump. When you're looking at median and averages, when you have only 50 to 60 homes to sell, 100 homes in a 120-day period, which is what I'm looking at here, then these numbers are a little more volatile. When you're coming to a place like Alpharetta, you're talking about 700 to 800 homes that we're looking at. Right next to it is Peachtree City down here, coming in at $527,000 median sales price. Peachtree City, well known in the Atlanta area for it's a golf cart community. You have a lot of golf cart trails, so people, when you're going in around the city, going to school even, they take their kids on golf carts lots of times. So interesting area down here. Down here, you'll also find a lot of people that work in the airline industry, because the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, so the airport that serves Atlanta, is down here in Atlanta. So it is on the south side of Atlanta. So you have a lot of the airline community, people that work for the airlines living in Peachtree City and the surrounding area down there. Next, we're gonna pop up here back to the north. We're looking at Canton. So way up here, north side of Lake Altoona, Canton's coming in at $525,000. Again, you got another lake here. So most people think of Lake Lanier as the lake in Atlanta. It's bigger, but Altoona is another lake here. Get a little bit more reasonable prices if you can have that for a lake living, but Altoona, great place. Canton's just north of it, coming in at $525,000. Next, we're coming down here to Smyrna. Smyrna, Georgia at $520,000. I was here a lot growing up as a kid because my grandparents lived in Smyrna. So again, a lot of developed here. You can see this is on the northwest side of Atlanta, and this northwest side of Atlanta has really boomed. Some areas have always been pretty popular and pretty expensive, but pretty good commute to Atlanta. So $520,000 there. Jumping back over to this side, we're talking about Beaufort. So again, near Lanier, Beaufort's coming in at $515,000. One thing to note about Beaufort is Beaufort has its own city schools. So instead of being a part of Gwinnett County schools, they actually have their own, and Beaufort schools are highly rated. A lot of people want to be inside the incorporated city limits of Beaufort to take advantage of the school system there. So $515,000. Next, way up here in Cherokee County, way north, you're talking about Ball Ground coming in at $509,000. So way up there, Ball Ground, $509,000. You're going to notice that a lot of the north, some higher prices, especially when the pandemic hit. You had this boom of people moving out of the city, and as you go north in Georgia, you hit the North Georgia mountains. So a lot of people, you're starting to get the foothills of the North Georgia mountains there, and they like the view, they like the slower life. It is close enough to Atlanta to commute, but far enough away where you get a lot more land and just a little bit slower pace of life up there. So that's where Ball Ground comes in. Next on our list is the city of Atlanta, coming in at $507,000. Now, Atlanta varies dramatically because Atlanta, depending on where you go, it can be funky. It can come up here to the Dunwoody area. Some are considered Atlanta homes, and the Chamblee and Decatur. So Atlanta takes up a big swath of land, but $507,000 we're talking about a single family detached home. Next, let's jump over here to Marietta, where you're at $500,000. One thing to know about Marietta is a lot of people like to live here because the Atlanta Braves, a Major League Baseball team for Atlanta, has its home in Marietta at the Battery. So a lot of people love Marietta. Again, another place. I mean, all around these metro cities, they're doing a lot of work to revitalize the city center. There's a lot of push for like live, work, play, where you have green spaces and concerts that goes on, places to shop and dine. So you don't have to go far to get everything that you may want right in the city you live in. So Marietta is no exception to that. All right, next we're heading back to Cherokee County, where Holly Springs is located at. Holly Springs coming in at $480,000 for median sales price. And we jump down to here to my home city, and that is Duluth, Georgia. So just under that, Duluth, Georgia is coming in at $479,000. Absolutely love Duluth, Georgia. That's why we call it home. Great downtown area, lots of good parks around. One thing about Gwinnett to head out, I mean, there's good parks there, but Gwinnett, it's some of those fantastic parks, not just here in Georgia, but in all the U.S. They just do a really great job making their parks vibrant, great walking trails, great baseball fields and soccer fields, and just some unique areas, some swim opportunities, both outside. They have some like water park kinds, but also some inside parks as well in and around Gwinnett. So I love calling Gwinnett home just because of all the things around here. I've got young kids, and it's just a great place to live, to raise them. Jumping on this side, we're going over to Flowery Branch. Again, right next to Lake Lanier. We're talking about $478,000 for the median sales price of Flowery Branch. That's in Hall County, so it's up there a little ways. If you're commuting to Atlanta from some of these areas, it's going to be a longer commute. So if you have to commute into the city or down to the airport, take that in consideration. All right, next up is Doraville. Doraville's coming in at $475,000. Big boom here, and I think it's just going to continue on. Last year, I put out a video of some of the best buys I think you could have. I mean, actually, it might have been the beginning of this year, but and Doraville came in as one of them because I told you have a city guy that lives in Brookhaven, large prices, Chamblee's big, and now it's coming into Doraville. Lots of work going on there, including there's a new sound studio for movie making that's happening here. If you're not familiar, Atlanta has a ton of movies that are being made and created here with lots of sound studios, and they put one in Doraville. So this is not only going to have a lot of job opportunities here, but they're also putting some apartments that are vibrant here. There's going to be a shopping area in here. MARTA, which is the Metro light train system that goes in and around Atlanta, comes into Doraville here. There's a station. So a lot of fun stuff's happening here, and a lot of the stuff that's used to be done in Hollywood's being filmed, and that's going to come to Doraville. All right, next we're back south. And back south, we're looking at Fayetteville here in Fayette County. And Fayetteville's coming in at $465,000 for the median sales price of the home. And we're jumping back up to Woodstock. Woodstock here, just in Cherokee County, is coming in at $460,000 for a median sales price. Here in Woodstock, close to Alpharetta and Roswell. So if you want to kind of be closer to these areas where you got a lot of shopping and outdoor activities, but maybe can't afford these prices, Woodstock actually is a really good place to call home and to be closer to some of these schools or activities you want to be in. Good school systems too. All right, next we jump over here to Brazelton. Now Brazelton comes into Gwinnett County in the hall a little bit. Brazelton over here, $450,000. As you go to this Brazelton area here, there's a place called Chateau Lawn. It's a winery that has a really great golf course there, wine tasting. It's a resort, so go out there, you can stay, have a spa day, things like that. Lots of new construction in Brazelton. A lot of people are starting to move that way as well. Next we go east side of Gwinnett to Decula. That's how this is pronounced, not Dacula, it's Decula. So Decula's coming in here at $450,000 for the median sales price. Gwinnett's interesting. I mean, it's pretty close to Atlanta, but there are parts of Gwinnett that still have plenty of land to be developed. So when it comes to maybe new construction, you're going to be kind of close to Atlanta. It's hard to find single-family detached homes that are affordable, but even just to find them at all, anywhere near Atlanta. Gwinnett's one of the counties where out here in Decula, down here in Grayson area, going towards Brazelton, you can still find some single-family detached homes being built. All right, coming back on this side of the map, we're going here to Acworth in North Cobb County. Acworth is coming in at $436,000. And then right below it here in Kennesaw, we're coming in at $435,000. Kennesaw is a fun little city. Also, Kennesaw Mountain is there. Great place to hike. A long time ago, there was a Civil War battle there when Sherman was coming through. So there's actually national Civil War area. It's preserved there with areas to walk around as well. These two really close together there. And then of course on the south side of Lake Altoona. Popping back over here in East Gwinnett, we're coming in at $433 for Grayson. So this is the city of Grayson. Again, really starting to boom here. A lot of construction going on out there. And then next we're going to Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill comes in at $431,000. And again, south side of Lake Lanier. One thing I tell people when they're looking in Sugar Hill, there is a landfill here in Sugar Hill. So just note where that's at when you're purchasing a home. So just want to give everybody a heads up. Anytime I have people looking in Sugar Hill for homes, I always point out where the landfill is in proximity to the home. Sugar Hill's done some great stuff here. So don't get me wrong, Sugar Hill's a cool place to live, cool downtown area. I've had people buy in Sugar Hill, but there's a little part of it next to the landfill that you at least want to be aware of. Next, way up there in Hall County, in the middle of it, we're talking about Gainesville, Georgia. Gainesville's coming in at $417,000. Gainesville has a pretty good size to it, being outside of Atlanta. Really fun downtown area. My wife and I were coming back from the North Georgia area, stopped in Gainesville to have some food, and they just really revitalized that area. So if you're, you could commute to Atlanta. People commute from far out here, but Gainesville could be a fun place to live. Job opportunities there. If you're telecommuting, you're near Lanier, you got plenty of stuff in and around Gainesville for activities to do. You're closer to maybe the North Georgia mountains if you want to go there. So coming in again at 417 is Gainesville, Georgia. All right, coming back down here, sort of the southwest side-ish of Gwinnett is Lilburn, Georgia, coming in at $410,000. Lilburn was where I spent a lot of time because when I was teaching, I taught in the school in Lilburn for 10 years. Fun little city here, and again, lots of work going on here in terms of revitalizing the city, really sprucing it up. But this is going to be a good buy here. So definitely consider Lilburn. I think Lilburn's actually a really good buy when it comes to proximity to Atlanta, the schools there, the neighborhoods and things to do. The one drawback to some of these areas here is there's not a major interstate. I-85 runs through, well, 400 runs through this area. 85 kind of comes this way. There is 78, but it's not a major interstate that comes out this way. And then you've got I-20 that comes down this way. So in this area, this is just kind of a zone where you don't have as much of a major interstate. So you're doing a lot more side roads, which with Atlanta traffic can be a pain. Going to next at 400,000 is Lawrenceville, Georgia. A year ago, I did a video that was about what's the best place to buy in all of Atlanta, not only for places to live, but also for its value. And Lawrenceville is the city that I really honed in on. Well, then about 6 months later, Realtor.com put Lawrenceville as the #4 city in all the US to buy. And I still think this is a good area to find good value in Lawrenceville. A lot of work going on, a lot of revitalization in Lawrenceville, so I think it's a great place to buy. Next, we're talking about Powder Springs here. So Powder Springs here in Cobb County, we're looking at $395,000. As you come out to this area here, a Six Flags theme park is out here. So if you're into roller coasters and all that kind of stuff, you can actually find Six Flags out here in Cobb County. All right, next, way down here in Coweta County, you got Noonan, Georgia. So Noonan's coming in at $390,000. Good value, nice little city, definitely further commute here to Atlanta, but again, if maybe you're working or need to go to the airport, some of these areas here might be a better value for you, but also a better place for you to live if you're commuting to the airport a lot. Next, we're out in Paulding County. This is Dallas. So in Dallas, we're talking about $377,000. I-20 does come this way, so you have an interstate that comes through here. So if you are needing to come back in, you do have a major interstate there. Dallas, again, a really nice buy, growing area. Lots more land out here, lots more home you can get for the value. Next, we're jumping back here to where I was born at, Decatur. So in Decatur, we're talking about $375,000. Now, just to note, Decatur takes up a pretty big swath of land here. Downtown Decatur is definitely not 365. If you're buying in the city limits of Decatur, Decatur actually has its own city schools. And if you're buying in the city limits of Decatur, much more expensive. Decatur's a really cool, hip, trendy place to live. A lot of artists down here, cool venues to eat at, cool places to drink at. So really fun. It's got a MARTA station really close to Atlanta. So depending on where you're buying in Decatur depends on how much you're going to spend. So don't get thrown off. Again, that sounds like really low, $375. That's going to be on the unincorporated Decatur on the outskirts, but for the most part, Decatur, if you're talking about the city, inside the city limits is going to be more expensive. Next down in Henry County, we've got McDonough. So McDonough is coming in here at also $375,000. Lots of good new construction you buy there for a lot cheaper than most of Atlanta. So if you're looking to get into a new construction home, down here in McDonough, Henry County is a good place to do that at. All right, now we're in South Fulton area here. In South Fulton, you find the city of Fairburn. Fairburn's coming at $374,000. If you're not familiar in Atlanta, Fulton County is huge when it comes to north to south. I mean, it's large. So they usually break it up into North and South Fulton. Kind of Atlanta's the cutoff. So Sandy Springs and Roswell and all that's North Fulton. East Point, Union City, Fairburn is here in South Fulton. Next, we come out here to the city of Snellville, coming in at $361,000. In Snellville, Georgia, place is starting to try to make a more downtown, family feel city area here. So lots of construction going on there. We've got some really good shopping and dining when you're going on the interstate that goes from Snellville to Lawrenceville. So in between there, some good shopping and dining opportunities as well. So pretty good buy in there. Next, we're jumping back to Norcross. Norcross, Georgia here in Gwinnett County is listed median sales price $360,000. Once again, this is one of those areas, if you're buying in the downtown Norcross area, you're not getting a home for that much. They're much higher. They're talking about $600,000 and $700,000 and up in the downtown Norcross area. But if you just go outside of Norcross, you can get a home at $360,000 median sales price. Again, I think this is a good area to be looking at to purchase. I think you can buy here and have good value here. Right here, way on the west side of Metro Atlanta is Villa Rica. Villa Rica coming in at $350,000. And then we jump up to the north, we're looking at Cartersville. So we're now on the other side of Lake Altoona. On the west side here in Cartersville, $340,000. Really fun, kind of classic downtown area too. I kind of like Cartersville and its downtown look to it. You're in Bartow County here. You're definitely getting further out from the Atlanta area. Next, coming back to Paulding County, you've got Hiram here at $330,000. Then down here in Henry County, south of Atlanta, we got Stockbridge next. Stockbridge is coming at $323,000. Down there in Stockbridge. Douglasville comes in at next at $318,000. Douglas is in Douglas County, so Douglasville here, not too far from Atlanta. So again, good buy here, lots of value. So you're gonna start to see a trend on the south side. on some of the west side area, in the east here, you can still find affordable homes. Talking about affordable, if you want to go to the north side of affordable, you're talking about Dayersville. So way up on the north side of Bartow County is a Dayersville coming at $315,000. Going here in Rockdale County, Conyers is next on our list, coming at $311,000. Back here in Fulton at East Point, so south of the city, we're looking at $308,000. South of Cobb, we're talking about Austell next. Austell's coming at $308,000. We've had some investors buy here in Powder Springs, Austell area here a few years ago, and these prices have just jumped up over and over again. So again, good area. I think to buy in, to invest in, definitely take a look there. Union City's next down here in South Fulton. Union City's coming in at $285,000. We jump back over here to DeKalb County. Lathonia's next, coming in at $280,000. And then finally, at the end of our list here in Clayton County, on the south side of it, we're talking about Jonesboro coming in at $265,000. So that's it. That's the median sales prices of all the cities in Metro Atlanta. When I say all, I did miss a few here and there because I just can't fit everything on my map. But for the most part, we hit a vast number of cities here in Metro Atlanta. So do any of these fit into what you're looking for? Do they fit your budget? Well, if they don't, then be on the lookout for my townhome and condo median sales price video that I'll be putting out soon. But if it does and you want to know more about these different areas, then give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would love to talk with you more about purchasing a home here in Metro Atlanta. You can find my contact information in the description below. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.